Hello, everybody, and welcome to Survivor with Jamie, Jack, and Colleen. My name is Colleen.
I'm Jamie.
And I don't have a vote.
And welcome to the show. How is it going, everybody? What an oddly paced, strange episode we had tonight.
It was, right? It was really
Well, when
weird.
they started going to tribal, I got up thinking there was going to be a commercial.
I thought there was going to be a commercial somewhere sooner than it was, but yeah.
And I go, wait a minute, they're not going to commercial break? I go, there's like 20-something minutes left. I
Well-
go, all right, something's going to happen.
And I said that too. And so when they went to we started the immunity challenge at 8:10, and I was like, "This is weird." And I had forgotten about the next week on, and then Jay reminded me, and I was like, "Oh, that's right, somebody drowns or something."
They're all gonna drown. End of season.
Can we just say that? Jeff kind of
He was
said
so.
it, but,
Jeff
but
was.
Jonathan, that has to be the single best person in a challenge in the history of Survivor, because he was the only one that could complete it. Everyone else would have died.
You know,
I was having some Harry Potter and the Triwizard Tournament flashbacks. I thought he was gonna go save all the other tribes from the water, pull them into safety.
I think he would have.
oh my
I
god,
mean, he's carrying the ladder while his teammates are drowning.
Power to Jonathan, because that was incredible. Like, in all fairness, that was incredible. Jeff was gleeful about, he was like, yes, Joey Amazing went full QAnon. I finally have somebody new to root for, like somebody new in my heart. And then people were like, the waves are so choppy, and he was just gleeful. He was like, oh my god, I haven't had a medevac potentially this good since Caleb. Like, it was just.
But to me, I was trying to. I go, there's been some good people with challenges, but he was good at every step of the way, and like to the bing bang, boom, 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 boom. As he sat there,
nailed that.
It was just like, okay, this is just too easy for him.
Well, he has all that upper body strength, and he's like 2 feet taller than everybody else, which really came in handy in that water.
It did. Like, he's the last athlete. I mean, usually in a season, we get each tribe is stacked with athletes, right? And really, it's mainly like Jonathan at this point, right? It was like the last
the whole
bros,
season hinges on his shoulders,
right?
Well, I was wondering how many of them have never swam in the ocean, because it's not like swim. I mean, if you've never swam in the ocean, it's not like swimming in a pool.
No,
you're fighting against things all the time. And I was sitting there wondering, I go, why don't they let them choose if they could wear life jackets or not?
I don't know.
I mean, would life jackets really affect?
It would probably be harder to swim in that.
It would be harder to go down under the. I mean, obviously, life jackets.
I know that, but you could choose
going under the water.
Obviously, if you're diving down, you don't want the life jacket. But if you're not a strong swimmer.
Well, speaking of that, Chris in the chat says, because we are live, as we are every week, I've been a lifeguard for over 35 years, and that was just some scary shit. It really was, actually. Watching everyone, I'm surprised that we didn't have a medical emergency or something. Like, we didn't see more shots of people gripping onto the pole. Again, kudos to Jonathan. Like, mad respect that he was able to single-handedly carry his team. And sorry to everybody else that was stuck in that. It looked exhausting. I don't think we would have ever
seen Omar again.
I know.
Jonathan, he was floating out. He was going.
Omar and Marianne, he was like, I'm not going to let you be Marianne on Gilligan's Island. Let's go.
We're saving the day. Me and this ladder.
No, props to him, though.
Marianne never drowned, did she?
No. Like, that she was going to float off to a different island, by herself. That was my joke. It was a terrible joke. Don't worry about it. Anyway, let's move on from that. So, okay, we got, basically, it was mainly challenge, and then, 5, the Ship Whale Island thing was so quick that I kind of almost missed that it was happening. I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. They're there. And both of them played that terribly, because they both lost their vote. And again, that was 5 minutes, and then we had 30 minutes of tribal council, in which we saw Jenny get voted out, and Daniel basically ensured that he's going home next week. So,
yeah, he He set himself up to be in a predicament for sure.
Oh, it was painful. Every time he was like, Chanel made me do it. Chanel. And I was like, girl, Chanel is going to like eat you for breakfast, like the first chance she gets.
It seems like when she got back from the island, she was in a mood anyway. Like she wasn't really cool with the way that they had decided they were going to do their votes, and then she was like, no, we have to split them like this. It has to be this way. And then when he tossed her name out there, I was like, oh, that's not going to be good for you going forward.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Well, the only thing that could save him is he's in the majority right now.
The only thing that can... No, he's not anymore. The only thing that can save him is a tribe swap. He needs to get away from Chanel, away from Hai, and then maybe he has a chance.
But Hai would stay on him. I mean...
I think Hai is going to stick with him because the one thing that Daniel did that was bad for Daniel's game, but excellent for Hai's game, was make everyone show their cards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and also... throwing everybody else under the bus. And let's talk about Hai. What a spectacular performance tonight. You see him, they mouth to Daniel. Somebody mouths him Lydia, and he nods, and Hai sees it.
It was Chanel.
Okay, so Chanel mouths to Daniel Lydia. Daniel nods. You see Hai catch it and be like, oh, I'm onto them. And he just puts his foot down and he's like, whoa, then we're going to go to rocks. And he knows that Daniel is skittish and anxious because he's just talked about it at Tribal about how paranoid he is, and that's going to be the death of him in this game. And, 10 minutes later it comes true, where I think Hai was just like, I have this dude's number. He doesn't want to go to rocks. This will get me some mad points. So he just swung that BDE and he was like, this is my hand.
Daniel made a lot of mistakes at Tribal, but his biggest mistake was showing his cards right away. I don't want to draw rocks.
Yeah.
I mean, he should have obviously, I'll be honest with you, I would have done what Daniel did too. I said, I'm not drawing rocks. There's no way I'm going home.
Right.
And I think he underestimated how pissed off Hai was about not really being included.
Yeah. So I think that, like I said, I wouldn't go for rocks, but you can't just go, okay, I have, a full house.
Yeah.
You can't show your cards ahead of time. And he did. I go, ooh, big
and then
mistake.
he showed everyone else's cards too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
He didn't have to throw Chanel. I think what he knew that Hai was not going to give in, right? So he was trying to save face with Lydia, saying, okay, are we good? Are we okay? So he can stay on a little longer, but he blew it. But like I said, I think if there's not a swap, he's safe because there's no way Hai and Lydia are going to vote him out because
they need somebody on their side. Yeah, they need the numbers.
It was
he won't win.
But now Mike's a free agent, right? I feel like Chanel is one of those people that in a small tribe she's going to get her way because everyone's kind of scared to go against her. And until, I think she's going to be safe until they get to Emerge. And I think at Emerge, she's going to rub people on the other tribes the wrong way, where she's going to go in there and think that, she's the hot shot, or she wants things done her way. And then everybody else is like, hold up, bro. There's more than just you.
Right. And that is assuming that Mike is going to... she's going to have things to say without a doubt. So if Mike is going to listen to what she has to say, that's one thing. But if she's telling Mike what to do, he might be a personality that doesn't like that either. So
yeah, but he also might be running scared now because, as Miami Mike in the chat points out, Mike's a free agent without a vote,
and Mike's no Mikes. So
Mike's no Mikes.
But if Chanel, if they go to Tribal again, she'll get 2 votes, right?
No, she still doesn't have a vote. And that was the other thing is.
No, I thought since they both risked it, they get the vote the next.
No, they lost.
I think it's just the one.
They just lost it for the one time. Okay,
the one time, yeah. So so they might be thinking, all right, Mike and Chanel have no votes. We go to Tribal. She has no votes.
Well, Mike definitely has no vote.
Right, and then Chanel would have 2, but I guess that really wouldn't help her because they still don't have the numbers.
Right. I think that Daniel just put himself, just stepped in it, and I think his game is done. I think Chanel is the louder voice in that, and she's got Mike, and I think that Lydia and Hai might be spooked enough about it because, he voted for Daniel voted for Lydia, and if
Twice.
there's a choice, yeah, like
Twice. He's showing he's not. They already knew he was a little scatterbrained, so he was going. Now he's like you said, he's put a target on his back. So I don't see. Yeah, you're right. I don't see him staying around too long.
No, and that's kind of a bummer.
I would want. I'd bring Chanel in or Mike in.
I think that I would have to think about it. Like, Daniel might be willing to do whatever you want for a little while, but I feel like if you let him get past a certain point, when he feels safe again, he could make inroads. And I think that he might not be the best person to keep around, whereas Chanel is probably always going to have a target on her back because she is one of those outgoing players that is not afraid to take the lead. And those people always have targets.
Right.
Well, and I'm just going to put this out there that to me, it does not seem like Daniel took Chanel's name and threw it out there primarily as a targeted directive to distract. I think he did it by accident.
Right.
I just his social, he's not smooth. I think he accidentally stumbled across it and then doubled down instead of backing away from it. Well, and that might be what's really dangerous in his game too, because if it was actually contrived, then maybe you can work with this person. But if they're he's just you can't trust what his emotions are going to be from day to day and what mistakes he's going to make.
Right.
And that, I think, is a lot more dangerous. In the first half of the game, someone who's making mistakes left and right is far more dangerous than somebody who's operating with calculation.
Right.
Yeah, if he's making mistakes now, wait till he doesn't have any. He has less food in his system where he's just going to be.
And also, didn't he? We're not even talking about what happened in the beginning episode where he lost Mike's immunity idol.
Well, he lost. How do you lose your shoes?
How do you? Yeah,
and his drinking bottle.
How does that even happen? I'm gonna throw it out there now. Daniel is not winning this game.
No.
Unless every single person from his tribe magically gets voted out.
He called it too. This is why I'm not winning season 42.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see. In the chat, Chris says, didn't Jenny have the extra vote from the initial Shipwell Island? I think that she chose to play it safe, didn't she?
Yeah, she chose to play it safe.
And the other two got extra votes.
And she didn't go to tribal right away, right?
No,
no, they didn't because there were 6 people on that tribe still.
Because I think it does say you'll lose your vote at the next time you go to tribal. So you lose your vote no matter what. The next time you go to tribal, it's like Omar. Is it Omar? Omar, he won't have a vote next time.
Right.
Right. But but then next time he'll have 2 votes, and I think that's the same thing for. Chanel.
Okay. Because the beware advantage that Marianne found this week, which, oh my God, for a second I forgot that she had to say the bunny rabbit thing, even though I had written it down. And when she told that story, I was like, that's an interesting story. I've never heard of that book before.
But that works for someone like her because she's always saying things at tribal where people are going, what is she talking?
Yeah.
But I can't believe they would use this going forward. I can't believe they'd still have this in the game because why would you take it? It's such a disadvantage.
Yeah. That's why.
Don't open it. Give it to someone else.
I have to have the whole game. I think they're out there, they've watched this game, and then they see it, and it's it says beware, but I'm here, and I have to experience the whole game. And I think hours and hours of boredom, for the same reason that it leads people to telling others that they found an idol, it leads them to opening packages that say beware.
I can see beware. Okay, there might be some kind of twist in there. But having seen it and knowing that all 3 people have to, and you're just like I said,
I hope she has a backup person to read the fine print just in case.
And I hope it's not Daniel the lawyer who missed the fine print.
Yeah.
No, Do you guys think that Jenny was the right choice over Lydia?
No. I think individually not Daniel's game is I don't think Daniel's game was going to be any better or worse having Jenny or Lydia at this point, because I just think he really just jumped.
It was so much cringe.
It was so bad.
So much cringe. I'm sorry, Daniel, for listening. I like you. I was rooting for you, but
I know it's
cringe.
so disappointing. I just love him, and I'm like, what are you doing, dude? All right, well, there it is.
Yeah, once he lost his shoes, he lost Mike's idol. He it was like, oh my god, this.
Yeah. Can't take this guy anywhere.
He's all over the place. That's like overthinker.
Yes, that can be pretty dangerous, especially if you overthink out loud.
Yes.
That's the worst thing you can do on Survivor. Steal people's papaya and think out loud.
You don't steal papaya.
Oh my god.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I just god, so much cringe. What do we think about Marianne's stock tonight? Up, down? I think, what's his face? Jonathan's stock clearly went up. That dude's making the merge.
Definitely.
Because Jeff is going to throw some idols under his pillow if he has to. Not good. Jonathan is the quintessential Jeff Probst's favorite player prototype, right?
But the idol he finds is going to weigh like 600 pounds. He'll be the only one that can take it. That's the... No one else, because it's going to say you have to be able to bring it back to camp, and everyone else,
like the Sword in the Stone version of the idol.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes.
Rockstar is going to give it a real good effort, but
no, he'll tell someone else to get it.
Oh,
and how to get it correctly.
Exactly.
There we go. I'm trying to think. Did anything else? I mean, that tribal was just. Yeah, I don't know. I think
between like drowning and like spoiling their entire game. That's really what we got.
Well, it's amazing they had any energy left. I mean,
when they all returned to the beach after, like, just they looked exhausted, and I could feel their exhaustion while they were in the water. Again, I don't know how people weren't hanging on to that pole for dear life. Because it was really scary. And we had to, like, Zach was like, why are there so many waves? And, Jay was like, oh, that could create a riptide and blah, blah, blah. And he's like, what's a riptide? So then we were like, look, if you're ever in the ocean, make sure you don't try to swim against that because it'll just tire you out and make you drown. Like, swim with it. He's like, what if it takes me out to the ocean? And I was like, what if it takes you under the ocean?
Sometimes you don't. It
out is better than under.
I'm sure Chris would confirm this, but sometimes it doesn't matter what you do.
That's very true as well.
Sometimes the rip currents are just so strong that that's why they have flags that move over, get out of there.
Yeah,
get out.
We talked about that too.
It's pretty bad. I'm surprised that they threw them all in the drink for giving it a shot anyway, because you could see when they were, when he was just sitting there and showing them, they're like, here, you're gonna go risk your life for this fruit, which is abundant around you. Climb a tree, guys. That those waves were looking pretty sketchy from that point already. So I'm pretty surprised they didn't give it. Let's give it a couple hours before we shoot this. No, throw them in the drink.
Well, it didn't look like it was that rough when they first got there.
Right.
That wind picked up.
Yeah, and it got very choppy, and so.
Yep.
Yeah, it seemed like it picked up when they got there.
Chanel came back from her little island trip or whatever in the boat. It was funny because she got out of the boat and
she looked like she was seasick.
Like she was winded.
Yeah.
She looked like she was seasick, and it was played off like that she was upset that she lost her vote. But I wonder if she was a little like queasy because I mean, who wouldn't get queasy from riding on that in that?
Yeah, especially if it was choppy still. So.
Yeah.
What a day! What a day to be an Islander.
What a day to be an Islander. Do we think Mike is the one that has the idol on the other tribe that refuses to say the line until he's the third person?
Actually smart.
Yeah.
It is, but I wonder if they bring that back in the future. Does that mean people are just like nobody's going to start to say it?
Well, I don't understand, like, okay, maybe some people you could be, okay, so you win this, someone's going to say some strange phrase. But then, like, when the person who gets the strange phrase is Marianne, like you were saying, like, how do you even recognize that she said the thing?
She's the perfect person to find that, right? She and
how's he going to know that, oh, hey, someone's alerting you that they found this?
Right. She and the Goat on AstroTurf guy from last season, what was his name? Nasir. He was also the perfect person to get that particular phrase, because I believe I listened to interviews with cast members after, and some of them truly had no idea that he was fulfilling the phrase. Right. They just was like, oh, that's just Nasir being Nasir.
Just a weird thing that Nasir says.
Right. And like even me, knowing Marianne had it and had that phrase, I still totally didn't get it. I was like, see, what a weird book.
Might be Mike saying that there was heavy rain.
Probably so
they didn't want the contestants to get wet during that challenge. So yeah, I can see.
Well, they might have been worried about thunder, lightning, and worse wind and weather.
That's true. Plus, the Bing bags would be affected.
So, what do we think in terms of power ratings? High stock definitely went up.
If he can keep
can keep it. I mean, if he was
also he was pretty pig-headed too. So
yes,
and if Lydia's still turning people off, and for some reason, like that may not. But we've also seen people make big plays at Tribal that has, in cases, earned their respect amongst their tribe mates. That has helped save them for a vote or two.
High had to do that because obviously they would know that he was, if Jenny had been saved and Lydia went home, so now you have Jenny, Chanel, and Mike holding the power, and High would have been,
right,
only with Daniel. So he had to nothing to lose.
And I know we didn't get to see like everything that happens due to editing, but I really feel like Jenny, she kind of bummed me out because she seemed like somebody that would have maybe fought for her life in the game a little bit more. Like maybe throw a few reasons why you should be here.
We saw Lydia try to save herself. We barely saw anything from Jenny, and that also surprised me because we had all these confessional, interviews from her pre-game that made it sound like, she wasn't going to take crap from no one and she was going to, like, really kick butt. And it was just so interesting that in the end she was just quiet.
Maybe the lack of eating. I mean,
maybe lack of eating. Maybe she did say something and because it didn't matter and that they just didn't bother to include it.
Well, you had so much drama with High and Daniel and Chanel. You had so much drama with High, Daniel, and Chanel.
Right.
That Mike really didn't say that much either, did he?
Right. He talked about at one point he stepped in and was like, "You're right. I don't want to go to Rocks."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But did anybody else have this moment when you knew there was only going to be 4 votes, and I was like, "Oh, that's why there's so much time left. There's going to be a tie." And then when they went to revote, I was like, "Oh my god, we only have 2 people that can vote. Like, oh my god, there's going to be another tie." And that was the point where I was like, oh, that's why this episode still has 13 minutes left.
High looked like he was pissed off.
Oh, High was,
from the start. He was just like, oh. And then when he goes to Jeff, he goes, where are the other votes? I'll get to that. I'll explain that.
Somebody on Twitter was like, quoted like, where's the other votes? And, their response was, you're going to have to wait until the fall 2021 to find out about that. But
yeah, he was a little bit miffed in the whole situation. Yeah. But this is where I think that High could get himself into a little bit of trouble. I mean, maybe not. Maybe most of the drama will stick to Danielle and High can just step back and be completely free of it.
Oh, I think it's going to stick to Danielle.
He was pretty mad. And then, like you said, like he put his foot down and he directed that call. Like he was the first person to say, you know what, I'm not changing my votes. Like he made it clear, it doesn't matter what you tell me, I'm not changing my vote.
Right.
And for a tribe who's already
fractured,
obviously split down the middle, almost down the middle, and is going to be high drama clearly from here on out.
Oh my God. Part of me hopes
it's going to be interesting to see what the clapback is for that. If the attention comes off of Daniel, like,
part of me
he wasn't budging for anybody. So he has Lydia. Yeah. Like, Lydia's going to be like loyal to him.
Well, I think if Hai is smart, he goes back to tribal and isn't upset and lets people start picking. Lets Chanel and Daniel go at it. Just come back and he could talk to Mike and say, "Look, I had no choice. I didn't know what was going on.
I think he could work.
I was left in the dark. Yeah, I was left in the dark. And if I had voted Lydia out, you guys would vote me out the next time because
exactly.
So if he's and he seems like a smart player because he knew when Chanel came back that she was up to something because he said, normally she's calm and she was just very agitated.
Yes.
Okay, well, if she's normally calm, we've only ever seen her agitated, so clearly that's what they're going for in the edit involving Chanel, because I don't think we've ever really seen her play it cool.
No, we really haven't.
No. Part of me honestly hopes that they don't go to tribal again, because I don't know if I could take the trauma.
Yeah, because
it doesn't feel like fun drama to me.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not like clever game enhancing drama. It's like, oh God.
Right, this is a bunch of people that seem to not really quite like each other, and I don't know. To me it doesn't feel like that fun drama, and
it's
I
like
can't
when you
quite
bring that you bring that friend with you that you don't go out with very much, but you're like, okay, yeah, you can kick it at the bar with us, and then you run into your other group of friends, and you're like, this is gonna suck, guys. Like,
oh man, why did I bring this person?
What did I do? What
a mistake.
Oh my God.
Let's draw rocks.
We gotta draw rocks right now.
Yeah. Would you guys have gone to Rocks? I don't think I would have gone to Rocks, but I wouldn't have told everybody that I didn't want to go to Rocks.
No, I wouldn't have said that, but there's no way. Not like Daniel did make a good point. It's the seventh day. There's no way I'm going to take a chance on drawing the rock. Right. And the two people you wanted out are safe. So there's no way. Like I said, Hai I don't think he felt he had anything to lose. Daniel, I think, did.
Well, and it showed.
Yeah.
Which I think was the problem.
Do you think that if Daniel would have not brought Chanel into it, like pointed his finger at her, do you think that he would have been okay going forward? Like, do you think Lydia and Hai would have been like, oh, okay, we got him, we're good?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So Miami Mike asks, why wouldn't Hai and Lydia work with Daniel versus Chanel and a non-voting Mike?
I think they will.
For
a minute.
I don't know if they still will.
I think they will for a minute, but that depends I think it depends on Mike.
Well, I think if lines are drawn and everybody just wants the Sandra philosophy of anyone but me, and so it's hard to hide in a tribe of five. I think that's
true. It is pretty.
So
Daniel could be you rally around Daniel as your public enemy number one because he pissed so many people off in that tribal.
Now Hai doesn't know at this point. Well, now I guess he knows that Mike had an idol that he couldn't get, that he potentially could have an idol. So he was in the dark about the whole thing.
Well, right? And that's I think so. And I think that's where I said it kind of depends on Mike, because now Mike's got something to come forward with. Do they say, oh, we got to get rid of him before Daniel? Like, Daniel's nuts, but like, there's the real threat.
Who's the real threat?
The idol. Anyone holding the idol.
Right.
Even if it hasn't been given power yet, are they like, we got to stop it? Like, do they get, once they have the details of this, does their problem with him set aside to go after Mike?
Well, isn't the issue with this idol that 3 people get it, and then the other 2 have to, like, whoever votes the other 2 out gets to keep it? Right?
You mean like, it's like a Highlander? Like,
I guess the idol has different powers, and the final power is ultimate immunity if you get the other 2 out.
Yeah.
Had it. So again, that's why if I'm watching the show, say I go on Survivor 43, I found it. Here, you can have it. I don't want it.
Maybe that's why it's so interesting to have. So would that be like the Tyler Perry Idol, but like for real, what Tony imagined it? Like, is that what the ultimate immunity is? Yeah. Like, is this the Tony / Tyler Perry Idol combined? Because that would be controversial, to say the least.
Just a bit.
To have that much power. Chris asked, are all 3 phrases on the letter you got? Yes, because you're supposed to be on the lookout for the other 2.
Okay, it does have all 3 phrases.
Does.
Right.
It does,
okay,
and that's why...
Then I can see when Marianne says that they can go, aha, a phrase has been said. Otherwise, it'd be like, there's no way.
Yes, and that's why Mike was waiting. Mike wants to be the 3rd person. He wants to be the 3rd lady in waiting. He wants to be the bride. He wants to be the bride after the bridesmaids.
Right, which is smart.
Yeah.
Why let more people know that you have... But again, so many people know he has it. Or potentially has. Again, that's why the idol sucks.
Again, okay, let's think about this. We have Mike and Marianne. We don't know who has another 3rd. But that could be an unstoppable trio until they turn on each other. But they'd have to turn on each other early on. Like, right? You don't want to turn on somebody at, like, vote 7 and you're like, I only have 1 vote left to use this superpower idol. I don't know.
I wish I had it in front of me what the powers are, but I know the final power is you get immunity. Or you have not immunity, but you can save yourself.
There's like an extra vote. Isn't one of them an extra vote?
Something like that. Yeah.
You either get an extra vote or you can annul somebody's vote, like get rid of somebody's vote, something like that.
Oh, I can't believe I'm totally blanking on this. This is something I would write down, and for some reason I haven't.
Gee,
I can't believe Miami Mike hasn't told us yet.
Yeah, Mike's no Mike. What's up?
Okay. Let's move into... Does anybody have anything last? Because we have an email... Let me start that again. Does anybody have anything else? Otherwise, we have an email from Mandy.
Mandy!
Email.
Woohoo! And it goes... I'm so sorry for slacking last week and not sending an email. It's okay, Mandy. We still love you.
No, it's not okay. No, it's not. Don't just sit there and say it's...
As long as Mandy...
I'm going to rocks. I'm so upset that she didn't send an email last week.
So Mandy is my ally. I asked her to set a reminder for something on the broadcast last week. I can't remember what. That's why I asked Mandy to do it. Hope if she's done it, then we are good, and I forgive you for what did I ask you to do? I asked you to do something, but we're good if you did that.
Okay, Daniel.
It's clearly a good thing you asked.
Shandy made me ask her. Shandy wanted me to. It was all Shandy.
There you go, throwing people under the bus again.
Mandy continues, I like Lydia and Jenny. Why do they have to stress me out like this? This is nuts. I had to know that 2 people didn't vote the first time. Well, clearly, everybody realized 2 people didn't vote the first time. He read 4 votes and was like, it's a tie, bros. Anyway, that wasn't against you, Mandy. That was.
But why was he so confused
commentary.
The second time when there was only 2 votes?
I think they were very confused. Like, okay, like, yeah, I would have been like, one of these things is like the other.
Y'all, he's had like 1 bite of crab meat all week.
True.
So his brain's all messed up.
Oh, I have to say, was it the least surprising thing in this entire episode, and probably the thing that I was like, oh, thank you, this is a good idea, was Romeo sitting out of the challenge. I was like, oh, thank God, because that ocean would have washed away all 117 pounds of him, and it would have been so bad.
He'd have been grouper meat.
He'd be like that seaweed that comes up on the beach in the morning.
I was like, this is the best call.
I'm up in it.
This is the best call. Like, sometimes we roll our eyes because people that, tend to sit out all the time, but I was like, you go, Glen Coco. This was a good call.
A little bit of props to Lydia going, I ain't even mad. I ain't even mad. Yeah.
Agreed.
It's a good time for him to sit out.
Yeah, yes. All right. Hiya to know that 2 people didn't vote the first time. 6 people go up to vote and 4 votes revealed. Why is he surprised the revote only has 2 votes? I think he just did, other than Mike, who everyone knew lost their vote, I think he just didn't realize that there was another vote to be lost, and he just wasn't doing the math in the moment. Thank God Survivor previews didn't ruin this tribal. That was crazy intense. Fun facts, going into tonight, no person has cast a vote against them since the 2 votes were unanimous and the person going home played their shot in the dark. Wait, hold on. Going to tonight, no person has a vote cast against them since the 2 votes were unanimous and the person going...
Yes, I got it.
No person has had a vote cast against them because they had 2 unanimous votes. Got it. Okay. And then also, I guess she links to a tweet that Mike Bloom pointed out. The wonderful Mike Bloom, alumni of this channel, has pointed out that Survivor history was made in more than one way tonight. This is the first time that 3 tribes visit Tribal Council in the first 3 episodes. I actually did take note of that. Thank you, Survivor historian. Every other 3-tribe season has only had 1 or 2 tribes go in the first few rounds, while that new things are still happening after 22 years.
Yeah, that's nice that we don't have just one tribe just getting eaten alive right off the bat.
Yeah, I actually did really like that.
I think, Colleen, you pointed out that Jonathan is the athlete and everybody else is just, there's no tribe really has an advantage, yeah?
Right.
They're just bobbers in the ocean for Jonathan.
Yeah. Right. There's just, it doesn't seem like there's anybody. Usually you have multiple people of Jonathan's prowess on each tribe. And has anybody noticed in chat, feel free to chime in here, that the last couple of Survivor seasons have actually not had like the LA Central casting recruits. It seems to be people that are actually fans of the game.
I think it stopped a while ago.
Well, and I think part of that 50% initiative really changed how the casting was done because they started to want people who wanted the win.
Yeah.
More than anything. I mean, we weren't getting people who were cast because they had an agent make a phone call. These are people who really want the win. So it makes for a better game at the end of the day.
It does.
You want people that have played the game before.
Right.
Unless you get 16 or 18 people that have never seen the show, that would be okay.
Right. But then everybody's on the same level.
But when you have people that are just there, okay, if I can last a couple of days, I want to be the first one voted out, make a name for myself, get some airtime, and I always, a lot of those people I think quit because.
Yes. And it's incredibly frustrating seeing it go down to the final 3, and then one of them is like, I'm just glad to be in the final 3. I know I'm not going to win, and I don't care.
Right.
No, get out. I want somebody who wants to win to be in the final 3.
Right. Yeah. No, it's been, I think it's been kind of nice to, but as Miami Mike points out,
it's been,
I think because there's been so many super fans, you have more people willing to play risky, but that also, and as I pointed out to, did I point it out tonight to Jay? I'm sorry. Jay is on the phone outside. He's distracting me, so I just totally lost my train of thought.
I can hear him.
Well, he was reading Charlotte's Web to Zachary in the room directly above me, and that was why you heard him the first time.
He was yelling it. He was yelling.
No, it's directly above me. It was great to work from home during the pandemic and then have Zachary in his room right above me being super loud. It was awesome. I can't even tell you how not awesome it was.
Zachary is loud? News to me.
What were you talking about? Super fans, people. Yeah. I think the last person. To be fair, I think that the people who do call their agents and want to get on now are like the athletes, like what's his face from last season,
right?
Or we've had athletes that are actually fans. But okay, here's where I was going with this. It does seem to be that the people that are the more super fan they are, with few exceptions, of course. They seem to be the ones that get so flustered and in their own heads that they play the worst or they make the biggest mistakes.
I think they, like Mike's saying, they play risky sometimes you shouldn't play risky.
Or sometimes you just shouldn't throw your tribe mates under the bus because
maybe not.
It could just end.
Well, that's what I'm saying is sometimes you see these super fans going, "Well, I got to do this. I got to because I'm a super fan. People know who I am. I have to play risky."
Or like Max, who was like, "I have to walk around naked just cause."
Yeah, I mean,
because I've got.
I think sometimes super fans. I think sometimes super fans are just they're normal people. But they do stupid things. The key is to get to the end and win. Doesn't matter how you get there.
Adam Klein talked about this a little bit because when he went on there, he was pretty much the biggest super fan in his tribe, and it's just very, very dangerous when you're a super fan to talk about being a super fan. It's much better for your game to be a super fan, know how the game works in and out, and pretend like you have no idea what's going on, because it's just a common. It's like a common target that other tribe. If somebody is very obviously a super fan, everyone just kind of turns and says, "We got to get that person out," because they know this game too well.
Right.
But then also you get really wrapped up in your head if you allow yourself to, because your game stops being your game and you start trying to play a game that the fans want to see.
Yeah.
Right.
And what the fans want to see is terrible gameplay on your behalf. So you have to be really careful to just say, I am a huge fan of this game and I'm going to live this experience, but I have to be really careful to like completely disassociate that this is being filmed and that I'm going to watch it later. I just got to deal with what's right in front of me.
Right. And honestly, yeah, you're right. I think everybody wants to be a Kim Spradlin. Everyone wants to be a Parvati. Everybody wants to, be a player that everybody wants to be a Malcolm, even though he didn't win, or an Ozzy, because everybody wants to make their mark and have their like big moves. Nobody wants to be like, a Tyson during Heroes Villains or
Francesca.
Or a friend. Well, yeah. Or what's his name? Shoot.
She's the only one I can remember that's been voted out first. Because she was voted out first.
Sorry, I'm very distracted by the phone call going on behind me. It's very hard to listen to two things at once. Nobody wants to be, or an Eric Reichenbach, Eric the Ice Cream Scooper. Nobody wants to do that stuff. But when you get so into your head, you end up like Daniel tonight, admitting that you don't want to do any of that stuff and then doing it in spite of yourself, because that's what people with anxiety do. That's what we do.
Yes.
We are like, we're good. We got this. We know exactly what not to do. And then as soon as we say that out loud, we turn around and we do it. And we're like, crap, why did we do that? We knew we weren't supposed to. We told ourselves we weren't supposed to do that.
Yep.
I know, and I would fill out the questionnaire for Survivor. I think I filled out 5 or 6 of them. And one of the questions is, what contestant, what Survivor would you think your game would be patterned after? Every time I put this one, one. I put a different one every time. The last time I told the truth. I said, I won't know till I get there.
I like that.
Because you don't know till you get there, because that's why I think sometimes these super fans, they come in there, this is my game plan.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you're with people like Daniel, okay, if I have 5, I got to be, I don't know if I can trust him because he's all over the place. So I think you have to go in there not knowing and then reading, trying to read people's tales and all that other stuff. It still didn't get me on the show, but that was my final answer I ever gave.
I think that's why some of the best players that we've seen, okay, maybe not like the top tier, not like the top 5 best players tier, not that tier, but everyone right below them, that's still up there on the top. You see better gameplay from people who just align with people they get along with. It's not a matter of the game. It's not, I can trust you with this secret, can't trust this person. They just work with people they get along with. Because at the end of the day, look at, if I were on this season, I can see from being a viewer, somebody that I'd immediately probably go towards would be somebody like Daniel, just because I feel like that's the kind of person I would get along with. But then as this tribal happened, and you could kind of see like, oh, this is what his energy really is. Like, I'm going to just slide away from that a little bit. But for the most part, you are going to trust the people that are the most like you. You can kind of guess what their move's going to be if they're the most like you.
Right.
Like getting too wrapped in and like, oh, who's the best athlete? Who's going to get us further to the next challenge? And who do I see trying to take me out at merge? You can't go that far. It's just who are you getting along with that day?
Because Jonathan really has a target. Would you think would have a target on his back? Because you've seen this happen a lot. Where it didn't happen in the beginning, but about
honestly, I think. Sorry, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
They started taking out he's the best athlete. I can't beat him down the road. Let's get him out. But that makes our tribe weaker. Now we're losing.
But it actually might help him that he's the only athlete out there.
I think what helps him is he's not only is he great at the challenges, but he's got a pretty good personality.
Right. So he seems like he's a down-to-earth person. Stereotype. That he was cast as.
He's not an a-hole that we can see. I mean, he just seems like he's a good guy.
Right.
And I think that's what you have to win the game. I think Sandra's the only person I know that can win the game by just tearing people apart.
Well, because that's just her. You're like,
I know, but most people, like you said, Russell Hantz, who tore people, and people hated him, and they said, we're not going to let you win. So I think that you have to play the social game. What we've seen a lot, especially the last few years, the social game is what's pushed people over the top.
Right.
Well, I think that I see with Jonathan too is that I think Jonathan has a soft spot for underdogs because the people he seems to be getting the closest to would be someone you would consider an underdog in the game. Yeah. So,
right. Ooh, speaking of social game, we actually neglected to mention this quote from Chanel right before Tribal where she goes, "That's the power of my voting game, that I can direct the votes without even having one."
Yeah, she did say that.
Womp, womp,
womp. Well, it kind of did it first, but
right. All right, let's go to the tally the vote portion of the show. Oh, I know, right? I don't think any of us got a point. Nobody had Jenny, if I remember correctly.
Didn't I wager a point, though?
You did. Hold on.
Yeah, you did wager.
I'm trying to get it to open. Open a new tab. Here we go. Okay.
I said, yeah, Jeff, cancel it. Let them drown.
All right.
I need a point.
So, as this is loading, let me try to screen share over here. Week 3.
Mike's not wrong in the chat. He said at this point Jack would be Rudy, the cranky old.
No,
guy.
honestly, at this point you could be a hybrid of Fishback when he was pooping all the time and Joe the FBI agent.
Okay.
I don't know.
Where's Jack? Where's Jack? Is he hiding or is he pooping?
Both.
He's looking for an idol. I found it. I didn't find it till after I pooped. Who wants to read it?
Oh my God.
There's no Purell, guys. There's no Purell in the jungle.
All right, here we go.
Had too much fruit.
Let's see. Nope, wrong tab. Oh, I was so close to seeing the right one. Let's see, view. Hold on, I think I can change the stop sharing. Here we go. Sorry, everybody out there. I know this is very, very compelling audio for all of you.
If you want, instead of listening to the podcast, join us live, and then you'll understand what we're doing here.
Yeah,
you'll see the madness.
You'll see it.
See the madness.
Oh, vote tally. Here we go.
Jay and Jack TV.
Woo!
Or is it Jay and Jack? It's Jay and Jack Productions. Whatever it is, I don't know.
Jay and Jack Productions. All right, here we go. Jack wagered 2 points on nobody being voted out. Somebody was voted out. So now Jack is -1.
Wow.
Oh. Did you think someone was getting medvaced? Is that what it was?
I think so.
No, I thought there was going to be no challenge. The challenge was going to be stopped, and they would do. But I knew I was in trouble when they started the challenge at 10 minutes in. I go, oh, okay, I'm going to lose. I couldn't remember how many points I wagered, but I said, all right, I'm screwed.
Let's see. Who are we going to? Come on, copy and paste. Hold on. I know, right?
I
had Lydia. I was close.
You were so
that's
close.
Who you picked, wasn't it, originally?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Look
I
at
could have been
you.
only down. I could have been even.
Oh, I enabled dictation. Sorry. Paste. There we go. All right. Tell me who you voted for. Here we go. All right. Now who is going home next week? Nobody got points this week. So there's that. Jamie, hi. That could pay off. Maybe this was a thing.
Hopefully. Let's hope.
Let's hope. All right. For week 4, I think I am first this week. And I'm going with Daniel. Because I feel like I'm going to go with Daniel every week until he gets voted out next week. So.
There you go.
Jamie, who do you think's going home?
Roxroy.
Ooh, okay. Jack?
Same.
Really?
Just judging by the previews, but that doesn't.
That's it.
Spoiler alert. All right.
It's not. It really didn't show anything, but it just.
All right.
Because preview editing has never steered us incorrectly. Ever.
Never.
Once.
Never. I mean, it didn't steer Jack incorrectly to lose 2 points this week.
Way to go. This has never happened before. Screw you, Jeff.
All righty. And I will actually cross off, who am I crossing off? Jenny. Oh, man, I'm so bummed about losing Jenny. I really like Jenny.
I am too. As far as the game goes, I don't feel like Lydia's going to bring us half of what Jenny could have.
Do you want her phone number?
I agree. Yes. Do you have her phone number?
Yes, 8675309.
Awesome. Got it. Wrote it down.
Have you guys ever heard Jack try to sing that song? It's wonderful.
I watched that today.
Did you? The lost one?
Mm-hmm.
4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42, Lenny.
It's hard to do. People think it's easy, but
I just did it.
The syllables are all misplaced.
There's no pressure right now doing it.
No pressure. That truly is one of my all-time favorites, I have to say.
It's when you have Jay yelling at you, can you not hear the music? No, I can't do it.
He yells a lot, doesn't he?
I didn't ask to do this.
Oh, my God.
He speaks robustly. It's not loudness. He just speaks robustly.
I'm not a music person. I don't know.
Anyway, all right. On that note, everybody, thank you for playing. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Mandy, for the email. If anybody else would like to send us an email, please feel free to do so. SurvivorJJC@gmail.com. If you would like to join us for the live streams, we post them on Twitter, which is @JayandJack. We also post them in the Facebook group. If you ever, want to know the link, you can always, send us a message somewhere. And we can send you the link. It changes every week, but I should look into having the same link every week. I feel like that probably is easier for everyone.
Well, if people subscribe.
Yeah, that's true. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel
and you hit the little bell thing, it will tell you, okay, we're up at 9:15.
That's a good point.
You don't have to look for the stream.
Exactly.
We live in a world of convenience, and this could not be more convenient.
Yes, it's that easy.
And I don't believe that this is the Survivor. I'm sorry, this is not the Lost podcast thing. It started out on that. And at some point, Jay switched it, and he never realized he switched it. So I just kind of kept it with that.
Why did he do that?
I don't know. So you want the Jay and Jack feed that has the red Jay and Jack logo, not the Lost podcast logo. You want the one that's got, I think it's just Jay and Jack at jayandjacktv@gmail.com is like the YouTube for it or whatever. But it's got the the logo in red.
We'll post a link on our Facebook page.
Right, or find the link that I posted for tonight on Twitter or Facebook. Click on that, and then do the things. It's
more
good.
Importantly, tell other people who don't know where to go there, because you found us. You found us here, so you already have me there. So
be like Chanel and tell people what to do.
Tell them what to do and how to do it. That's how we play this game. We've got this.
Exactly. And tell them why. Who made you do it? Me. I did. You can throw me under the bus. It's okay. Anyway.
I'm paranoid.
On that note, everybody, I hope I got everything. I think I got everything. Thank you again for playing, for listening, for joining, for emailing, all the fun things. We hope that
I was going to say, though, if Mandy doesn't send an email next week, she's voted out.
Oh, that's tough. I was going to say, I miss Victoria.
Victoria! Well, no, she doesn't like a lot of the episodes. Didn't she? I mean, she's pretty tough on the show.
That's okay. Right? Somebody's got to be.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that maybe she's not happy with the show so far.
No, she'll have to email us and let us know.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not. Again, it's not a bad thing. I mean, it's. I've criticized the show before, so.
You literally criticize it every time we talk about an immunity idol or an advantage of some sort.
There's plenty to raise an eyebrow at.
There we go. On that note, thank you to the patrons, especially the ones that contribute at a certain level, and that would be Tack from Tokyo, Eckhart Rigner, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with a Plan, and Ed the Creepy Poopy Head Mailman. Thank you guys so much. If you would like to become a patron, you can go to patreon.com/JandJack. Check out some of the other shows on the network. We have the Rumblecast After Dark. We have the Broadcast with Amanda Shanny and Colleen. During the season, we have Owen and Baru's Barbecue that talks about Star Wars stuff. Get it? Owen and Baru's Barbecue. I'll let you Star Wars people figure that one out. It's my favorite. I love that title so much.
Best name ever.
It's the best name ever.
Except for Owen and Baru.
Well, no, Owen, I mean, it's debatable. We have, during the season, we have The Amazing Race with Jack and Cindy is on. You guys do Dancing with the Stars sometimes when that's a thing. Not anymore. Best artwork of the network, though.
It is. I like it.
It's my favorite artwork. I was like, why did they get the purple and the yellow? I want the purple and the yellow, Jacob. Make me purple and yellow. And he was like, here's some pink. And I was like, fine. Sorry. I was very passionate about the purple and the yellow. Apologies.
You can have it now.
It's all mine. And I'll take it. I want Jacob to make us, because we talked about Labyrinth a few weeks ago on the broadcast, and I want him to make us special artwork that has us with like Bowie hair and like the, lightning bolt thing, and it'll say like the broads with the power. Anyway, I thought that would be really fun. Switch it up a little bit sometimes. Anyway, on that note, everybody, check us all out. There's more things that we do when TV shows when they're in season. Yes, the end. Okay, on that note, my name is Colleen.
I'm Jamie.
Jack.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Peace out.